Mr. and Mrs. Do Everything. Yeah, that's right. Today we're going to be going over the fullback position and everything you can do to be the best fullback for your team. Now, this position asks a lot out of you, but it also can be one of the most rewarding on the field. Not only do you get to play defense like Madman, woman, but you also get to join in on the attack and be someone who can make or break a game. So let's get into it. Now, the fullback position can be a make or break for your team, and as you've seen for a lot of the top tier teams, the fullback position is one that is relied on heavily for their game plan. Not only do you have to be one of the best defenders on the field, with all the qualities of a center back, but the speed of a winger, you also have to have the vision and ability to play as a forward or as a part of the attacking unit. So I hope you're excited because it's honestly one of my favorite positions to play. It takes a lot out of you. It's gonna ask for everything you have on that field. But if you play it right, it'll be one of the most rewarding positions you've ever played. Okay, so number one, I want you to be playing like it's the last play of the game. I want you to be selling out to make all of the runs, to be joining the attack, as well as selling out to get all the way back, dropping to give your all to get back and to defend. Like it is make or break, that if you don't get back or if you don't join the attack, then the game is over. If you don't start the game like this, on the front foot and on this all-in mentality, then the game is going to go by you. You're not going to be doing what the team needs you to do, because the longer you stay and hold back on that defensive line and just keep it a flat line, never really joining in on the attack, giving a lot of pockets of space whenever your wings have moved up into that attacking third, then you're going to have issues for your team, because what's happening is the support that your attack is expecting to get is not coming. You're not there. And so you always want to make sure that you are reading the game at an extremely high level. Now, the way that we're able to do this is keeping our mind focused on being in that all-in mentality. If this were the last play of the game, then I would make that run. If this were the last play of the game, I would sell out and give my all to get back in front of this player, get my frame between them and goal, and I would see them out of bounds. There's no way I'm going to let them run back at my goal if this were the last play of the game. And so if you're playing from this in, let's say, the 5th, 7th, 19th, 35th, any minute within the game, it doesn't matter, because what happens is we get into the middle of the game, or we get into the halves, and we kind of think that there's time, right? But time is not on our side. You need to be playing from this all-in mentality from the beginning. This is the last play of the game, and I'm selling out for my team. This is the last play of the game. I am going to step into this dangerous area, and I'm gonna rip a shot. And I'm gonna take this one home for us. Okay? It's fun. It's exciting. You should be playing from this mindset. If you're playing the fullback position, we need you equally as much on defense as we do in the attack. Number two, own the wings. I want to own the wings. Whenever I'm coaching my teams, they hear me say it a lot. I want to own this space. I want to own these lanes. Open these channels for me. This is what I want. This is where we're winning. My players know it pretty well. I say it a lot. I expect so much out of my fullbacks. I expect them to be moving up and down at all times, applying pressure, not letting players turn. They do not get to pass around me. They do not get to run around me on the wing. If I'm stepping to them, they are not turning. If I am stepping as fast as I can, the faster we can move on to that player before they turn, the better off we'll be. And we can sell out, we can get back as needed, we can turn them around, we can run them down, get in front of them, flip our hips, and move them to the outside. We can cut them off by pushing them to the line. Now, if you're always using your line effectively, then it's like having hundreds of teammates up and down that line, because as soon as that player with the ball goes out of bounds, the ball's ours. So our main focus is not letting them cut back in, which is the most dangerous because that's what they want to do. They want to cut in towards goal and they want to find something that's lethal. We're not giving that. We're making sure that we are keeping our frame between them and goal. We're not letting them cut back in, and we are seeing them to the line. And so we always want to push them at an angle. So you want to make sure that you know your pursuits. You want to make sure that you know how to get back and how effectively to angle somebody out of bounds without giving up too much space or without biting too hard, and then them being able to cut back in and all your efforts are for nothing. You have to be so disciplined. You have to have speed, you have to have athleticism, and you have to understand what the attacking player wants to do. So this is another part that's so valuable on that fullback position, is you are expected to understand what the striker is thinking. You almost need someone who loves attacking more than they love defending to play your fullback, because you want that pressure. You want them to go up. And then once the play starts to come back on us, you want somebody who's in the head of that attacking player, who is going to make sure that, oh, I know exactly what this guy wants. Oh, I know exactly what this guy wants to do. I'm not going to give it to him. If I were in his shoes, this is what I'd do. So that's how we're reading the entire play, the entire way that this is breaking down. And it's extremely important. It's extremely valuable to have this mindset while you're playing. But you have to read the game at all times. And if a pocket of space opens up, or if you start to see where somebody is moving in a dangerous area, they don't have the ball yet, or how the play is breaking down, we're always making sure that we understand how to take these options away. We always know how to neutralize what the opponent is trying to do. Now, the flip side of that vision is that you need to know how your team is building in the attack at all times. You have to keep your eyes up. You have to make sure that you are ready to make runs. You're reading it. Does your teammate need an overlapping run? Or have they gone outside and do they need you to fill the space just about 10 to 15 yards off the 18, so that way if it does get trapped or dangerous in that area, you can quickly check in over to them, get the ball on your foot, have a cross in, or if you're even closer to the top of the 18, in between that top of the 18 and the 6 area, then you can just rip a shot on goal, make the goalkeeper make a save, and then from that, if they don't handle it well, our strikers, our attacking midfielders, anybody who's in that box are going for that ball. So this is so key to the build up and making sure that we get the most out of every attack, out of everything that we can get anytime that we go up and we're trying to score. You play a pivotal part in this as well. Now, as soon as we lose possession of the ball, we have to be smart. We have to keep our head up. We want to flip our hips, get back as fast as we can, recover, but we're not just bailing out if there's no one there to stop the guy with the ball, right? If it's a 50-50 ball and your winger is up in that corner, well, it makes no sense. So you want to track back with the guy. You want to push him to the outside, but we're not just running away from the play and just running them all the way back to our goal. We have to make a stand. So understanding when and how to do that can make or break a team's counterattack. Now, we never want to swipe. We never want to step in. We never want to just run past them or go for the ball. We want to stand them up, get a hand to them while we're tracking back with them. This takes extreme athleticism. You have to be able to run fast backwards, but not backpedaling. You have to flip your hip and run from that side running motion. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll link the video here in as far as what's expected there. But this is key for your team. It's a constant ebb and flow. Now, the way that I describe it to my players is I want you to think of yourself as the tide, as the ocean, but as the tide of the ocean, right? We're going in, we're going out. We're going in, we're going out. So I don't expect you to get stuck on any line of the field. I don't expect you to get stuck on and having to stay in this one area. From post to post, I need you to move up, I need you to move back, but it has to be natural, and it's a constant give and take. We're moving up, we're moving back, we're moving up, we're moving back, and we're helping whichever side that's needed and giving the best of our talents at all times. When you're playing like this, it is outstanding for your team dynamic. So So give your all to becoming this constant ebb and flow player on the field, this constant moving up and down, supporting where is needed, seeing the game from a higher perspective, moving into space, giving options, talking all the time, checking in when needed, overlapping when needed. Read the game, find out what your teammates need whenever they're trying to attack, be in the head of the attacker who's trying to score against you. And if you play from these metrics, you are going to be playing outstanding. Okay, number 3, Mrs. and Mr. Do-It-All. You have to have the defensive ability of a center back, right? You have to be that strong whenever you're going up against somebody. No one can cut in on you, right? And then you have to have the endurance of the winger. You have to have the vision and control of a midfielder. And then you have to have the striking ability and crossing ability of an attacking player. So do it all. You have to be able to do it all. You have to be a complete player. But how do we get to this full complete player? Because that's asking a lot. And I don't think that's wrong to say. Whenever you really think about it, okay, I'm supposed to have the defensive ability of a center back. Well, okay. And then the endurance of a winger. And then the vision of a central midfielder. And then the striking ability of our striker. Like, okay, how do I train that? and in what way am I supposed to be doing that? Which is a great question. And that'll be for another video. I'm going to be putting out trainings that you can do in order to develop all of these skills. But watch the game. Any highlights you can watch, anything you can find as far as game analysis and just watching your favorite team. Even if you have a favorite team, just watching them play. Try to see what it is that the fullbacks are doing, but understanding how the game is built, how the team is building up to trying to score, and then watch how other teams are trying to counterattack your favorite team, or how your team is capable of counterattacking. Next, I want you to go and actually look up the best fullbacks in the world. You can do a quick Google search, that doesn't take long. And then see highlights within their game and start to see what makes them stand out the most, what makes them the best. And from there, you'll want to add in certain things within your game. You'll want to take from each one. Some things you'll have naturally in your game. That's just how it goes. Some you'll have to figure out and try to adjust to and add into. Make sure that you're training defense as well as keeping your skills sharp on the ball and doing some striking throughout the week that you have leading up to the game, whether it's a game or a tournament in the weekend. But you want to make sure that you're always sharp for anything, because you have to be that player that is the do-it-all on your team. Just from where you have to start in the attack and where you have to get back to if you do get into that attack and the play flips and now you are tracking all the way back to your goal. And that's expected. If you are in the attack and you are engaged, even if we lose the ball, you are still expected to get all the way back to that defensive line. You are still expected to get all the way back. You have to track back. So understanding your pursuit drill, your angles, getting in front of the defender. And I'm not talking about getting beside the defender and getting into the tugging match or grabbing onto their shoulder. That's not going to cut it. You have to sell out. You have to run faster than that player to get beyond them, to then flip around and stand them up again. You are now between them and goal. At all times, your main goal is to slow them down and then turn them on. If you can do this, then you will be everything and more your team could ask for. Okay, number 4. Never let them cut in. Ever. We're never letting them cut in. We will see them to the line and we will guard against the cross. We're going to try to make sure that we don't give that away either. But first and foremost, we do not let that player cut in towards our goal. Now, whenever someone is going at you, their goal is to cut in sharp, lethal across the face of goal and get a shot. So our goal at all times has to be to stop that. And being that we understand whenever someone wants to strike and how dangerous it can be whenever they are in front of the goal and they're taking shots, we know that we can't let that happen. Don't worry, your goalkeeper will be screaming at you to not let it happen. But once we know this, we understand that we have to keep our frame in front of them and we're angling that player to the line. We're giving them a golden bridge to to walk across. And that golden bridge is trying to beat me to the outside to send in a cross. Now, within the first 4 to 5 minutes of the game, I want to make sure that I'm recognizing how fast this player is that I'm going up against. Or if I'm going up against two players, like if I step to someone else and I know, okay, well, I'm probably gonna have to deal with this guy or girl a lot today. How fast are they? What are their skills? What's their skill level? What are some tendencies? I need to be taking this information in as I'm playing against them, and to understand what I can and can get away with throughout the rest of the game. Because the last thing I want to do is not know what I'm up against. I need to know what the player has, so that way I can judge what is going to be needed from me to contain them. Because if they're an extremely technical player but they're not very fast, then I just need to be extremely disciplined and make sure that I am not trying to stab in or take the ball at all, probably at all in the game. Because if I do and my momentum's moving forward and they're good at that, they're gone. I just know that from experience. But if they're extremely fast, then I need to give myself an extra step or give myself a little bit more space, so that way I'm not caught off guard whenever that person decides to turn that run on and is just gone. And so I need to make sure that I can get back. Now, if someone does start to just go past you, some people, you're gonna go up against people who have extreme pace. Now, if that does happen, then what you want to do is you want to angle back, and you always want to have a pursuit drill, but your pursuit drill is back to goal. So it's not just straight back to goal, but it is at an angle, because we know where that player wants to go. And so rather than trying to body up and run that player down or run back with that player as they're on a run, then I can get to where they're going faster by cutting off their run, by getting back to the goal and cutting them off in their pursuit to the goal. If you can always keep in mind that player trying to get to goal, and you know exactly where you need to go, and then if they're cutting in, if they're beating you on that run and they've cut in, pulling one of your center backs over to step and address that, then you're never just watching this take place. You're always trying to get in the play and to help get numbers to the ball and to put that pressure on. Because by the time that person has stepped, if they've contained them and they've turned them around, then you can be right there to take that ball off that player, which is expected of you. So at all times, you want to make sure that you are giving your best, doing your best, and giving your all to being the best fullback that you can be. This is Coach Connor, and I'm all in and dedicated to your development in soccer. Bye for now.